This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to the Wrestling POV podcast.
What's happening, fellas?
What is going on? It's Friday night. We're here.
We are here, and 1 week before the Royal Rumble, guys, I can't believe it's this time of year.
My favorite time of year.
Right?
Absolutely mine too. This is my favorite time of year as a wrestling fan. You know, I go back and I watch classic Rumbles, and you know, Elio has me watching all kinds of things that I haven't seen before. So I'm sure we'll get into a classic Royal Rumble here soon.
Quick Rumble story.
Okay.
Back in like the early 2000s, we had this thing here called Starphone. You dialed it up. It was like basic. It was the precursor to the internet. You want your news, you want your weather, whatever. You dial the main number and you punch in the code for whatever you want. They had a wrestling one, and they had wrestling trivia. So this 1 week they had wrestling trivia 5 days, all 5 days of the week. And on the Saturday they drew numbers. 5 people went, and the 5 people that they drew would get 2 tickets to go see the Royal Rumble theaters. So I was one of the 5 that got to go to the theaters to see it. Rumble
that would be sick. That was a good Rumble too.
And it was a packed theater too. Like I had to sit in the front row. I was like uncomfortable because I had to like look up at the giant screen. My neck was like hurting. Like.
Right?
It was worth it at that point, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, but it was fun. I'm like, go. And like, when I went down to the radio station to pick up the tickets, the guy was waiting in the lobby. He's like, dude, you know you're wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, you killed it on every single question.
That's awesome. But before we get started, I am your host tonight, the $50 man, Clay Cummings, along with the Dean, Elio Canella, and the original Ben Pierce. Guys, it's good to be here. Tony, unfortunately, can't be with us tonight, but he will be next week. So we're going to take over, and we're ready for it. So let's get started. One of our first Facebook posts was, should R-Truth make a run at the world title before he retires? Guys, I feel like this is the biggest pop that R-Truth has ever gotten. T-shirts are flying off the walls. He's funny as hell. He's making good work. He's making Judgment Day a lot more entertaining than they already were entertaining.
Now, do you know the story behind that?
What's that?
It was Damian Priest who was polling for R-Truth to be put with Judgment Day. Like he wanted to work with R-Truth.
Really? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
wow.
He's one that pulled for this.
That's awesome. Guys, I honestly think Truth deserves this title run. Not a title run, an attempt at the world title. Just because you think of other people that has fought for the world title before, you compare him to Truth. It's like, I feel like for how many years he's been in the business, he deserves that at least to end his career towards the world championship. Now, I'm not saying he should be a world champion, but to have that on his resume, which he already did before, but I feel like now it would be even better, him being a babyface. So I'm going to go with yes. I would like to see it. What do you guys think?
I'm going to say yes. I mean, they did it in TNA, and he has gone after the championship before. That one Capital Punishment pay-per-view, him and John Cena.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm going to say yes.
I'm very dubious. And it's not because I'm not a huge fan of R-Truth or Ron Killings, whatever iteration he's using. Okay? But here's the thing. If he did go after the world title, I feel like it would have to be with this comedy gimmick because that's what's gotten him the most over. And I feel like that would be the drawback to him actually being taken seriously as a world title contender. Because at least for me, when there's comedy involved, I can't take that individual seriously as a world title contender, with the notable exception being Eddie Guerrero. But let's be honest, R-Truth is no Eddie Guerrero.
Not even close.
No disrespect intended to him, but he's just not.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say no, only because just because someone has been in the business for so long doesn't necessarily mean that they're automatically going to be in a world title conversation, and that's okay. That's not an insult to anybody. It's just not everybody is meant to be a world champion, and it's not as if Ron Killings hasn't been a world champion before, because he's been an NWA world champion in TNA. It's just, I'm not sure at this point in time that he'd be taken seriously as a world title contender, and I'm not sure it makes sense with this comedic role in Judgment Day, no matter how entertaining it is.
Like what you said, not everyone has to be world champion. Roddy Piper didn't even want to be the world champion. He never won a belt.
That's very true too. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Let's go to the fans. Josh Sanders says, it wouldn't bother me. Yes, he deserves it, and so does another awesome African-American wrestler that deserved it, in my opinion, was Shelton Benjamin. They wasted him. Okay, I can see that. I can. Brad Sanders says, yes, he's such a joking character for so long. It would be nice to see him doing something serious for the world title. Okay. Constable J. Moxley says he does deserve it. Okay.
Yeah, he never followed up on that, because Tony asked Kevin to explain. He never followed up.
Where are you, Constable?
Yeah, because I was looking. I'm like, where's the follow up? I wanted that say.
There you go.
Why?
You pissed off the dean, and we're not even 10 minutes into the show. What the hell are you doing?
You heard that from the dean firsthand. There you go. And Anthony King Brown just simply says yes. So we have the results of the polls from R-Truth. Mm-hmm. And the numbers say, Elio, what are the numbers?
The numbers say 76 went with yes, while 79 went with yes, 36 went with no.
Well, that's not possible. That percentage isn't possible. If 79% said yes, then only 21% could say no.
Well, there you go. Either way, they got the yes part.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But we'll go to our next Facebook post. Which match was better? On Raw, we had Seth Rollins versus Jinder Mahal for the World Heavyweight title. As long on AEW for the AEW World Championship, we had Samoa Joe versus Hook. Oh, buddy. I wish Tony was here for this one. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, well, Clay, I'm going to ask you to just hear me out for a second, because
you go first. Go ahead.
It would be very easy for me to get pissed off and fly off the handle for justifiable reasons, because there's no justifiable reason for Hook to have been one, gotten a world heavyweight title shot, and two, been Samoa Joe's first title defense as AEW World Champion. There's just no defense for that whatsoever.
This was sad.
At least in my opinion. Now, as a match, and this is probably going to piss Tony off when he hears this, but I've always prided myself on being honest and shooting our viewers straight. As a match, it was much better than I was anticipating it being.
Okay.
Hold on.
I got you. It's all good.
If the intention, as convoluted as it is, and it was convoluted because it's a stretch to find a positive here. But if the intention was to make Hook look like a badass and put him in a better position than he was before this match, then they got that done. As much as as much as I dislike that, now that's about as positive as I can spin it. Now let's talk about the negative, because that's so much easier and so much more justifiable, and let's be honest, folks, so much more fun. And so much more accurate.
Yeah.
Like I said, realistically, there's no justifiable reason that Hook should have been in this position. And that's not necessarily against Hook. It's just he's not done anything to be in this position, not even remotely.
No.
And quite frankly, if I'm Samoa Joe, I'm looking at this like, what the fuck? Because let's look at a segment of the match itself. And I have a question for the panel here.
Okay.
In your recollection of Samoa Joe's career, has anybody ever kicked out of the Muscle Buster at one?
Not that I can remember, honestly. Out of everybody that's went there, and then I had a big problem with that. But you know what? I'm going to save it till later. Go ahead.
Because Clay, I had a massive problem with that.
I have a massive problem with a lot of it.
I don't get it at all. Okay. No. I really don't. I tried to be fair and come up with a positive, you know, because I don't want to come on here and just you know, make it sound like I'm taking a dump on everything AEW, because there was a time when I liked a lot of what AEW was doing. This is not one of those times.
No.
It's just, I'm gonna let you guys go now, because I'm struggling here.
So which match was better, in your opinion?
Well, there's no argument. It's Jinder Mahal and Seth Rollins. Now that being said,
okay,
I have a problem with that match as well, because number one, Seth got hurt in that situation. And
yeah, but you really can't blame it on the match, though.
No. I'm not blaming it on the match. I'm not blaming it on anybody. That stuff can happen. I'm just saying that could have long-term ramifications on the WrestleMania stuff.
Sure.
If it's as bad as some people think it is, because now we're having a situation coming up on Raw on Monday where he's going to address this situation. And I don't know about you guys, but in years past where wrestlers have had to address situations, it's not been a positive outcome.
Not at all. But I guess we'll have to see when it comes to Raw. We'll talk about that more.
So we'll talk about the match more when we get to the Raw review. But oh my God, I need a break, and I need a sip of Mountain Dew. Clay, you wanna go here?
Well, I'll let Elio go first, because I got quite a bit to say on these two. But go ahead, Elio. What you got?
Match I found better: Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal. Because why is Samoa Joe bumping for? He's bumping for Hook.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have someone kicking out of the Muscle Buster at one, no one's ever kicked out of the Muscle Buster. Why is Hook kicking out of the Muscle Buster?
Exactly.
So for that, I've got Seth and Jinder. Which, by the way, I did look. The R-Truth one was 79.20. So I was getting the 36. This one mixed up with those numbers.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
This one, the numbers are 63 for Seth and Jinder and 36 for Samoa Joe and Hook.
Well, the 36% of you, I don't know what the fuck you were watching. Honestly, I really don't.
Because seriously, Clay, Elio, you know, gentlemen, You guys are my boys, I mean this in all seriousness. If one of you texted me, called me, said you needed something, I would be there at the drop of a dime. But having said that, I may not be able to take that bullshit. Okay, the fact that 36% of people are justifying that bullshit.
Right. Well, here's my thing with these two matches. Okay, so you can say the same factor with Jinder Mahal going after the World Heavyweight title just as much as you could say about Samoa Joe. Or about Hook. I'm sorry. This was a random world title spot, just like Hook was. So I'm just going to say that before I say anything else. Jinder versus Rollins was more of a believable match to me than it was Samoa Joe versus Hook. Jinder has been a world champion before. Jinder has also fought Seth before in NXT. And just going off of that, this was a solid match. Now, was it match of the year? No, it was not. But this was a solid match. Seth getting the win here. Whatever. I was happy with it. I was happy with the main event because it made me actually look forward to it. Now, going AEW side, you hear Hook getting a world title shot. Why the fuck? We've said it on the panel. Why in the world is this kid who has done nothing but defend the FTW championship all of a sudden going against badass, probably the biggest badass in AEW, Samoa Joe, in his first world title shot, like you guys both said. Now, going into the match, and Tony has said this before, and I will say it again on his end. The motherfucker is in your first world title spot. I don't care if it's your fucking character or not. And you went behind your back, didn't even stare him in the fucking eyes. I don't care if it's your character. That to me is ultimate disrespect. Number one. Number two, if I was Samoa Joe, I don't care how you booked the match, whatever. You talked to Hook in the background. You should have knocked the shit out of him for that. Period.
I would have stepped him.
Well, exactly. Bullshit. It pisses me off when he does that shit. I don't care about a fucking character. The commentary, even with Taz, and this got me fucking shaking right now. Oh, he's a badass. Oh, get him, Hook. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, no. We know for a fact that you're going to be siding with Hook, so you shouldn't even been on commentary to begin with.
Right.
Get the fuck off. Like, seriously.
Well, and they did. He did at one point. He got off commentary. I wish he would have stayed off commentary.
Thank you.
But that being said, continue.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like Elio just said, the fact that Joe was bumping for this kid, Joe's twice his size. There's no reason why he should have. And Ben, I do agree with you also. If this was a way to get Hook over or be like more of a consistent wrestler, I can see where AEW was doing it. But you can't with a 125-pound soaking wet kid. That's like
Hook putting the stupid Boston Crab on Matt Hardy.
Yes. This is worse than Darby Allin. It really fucking is. It's just about the same way. But the thing is, and he kicks out the muscle buster. Are you fucking serious? Out of all the people in the world that Samoa Joe has fought and won world titles over and matches over, you're telling me that this motherfucker's going to kick out at one? Give me a fucking break.
And on top of that, and this is no disrespect to TJ Wilson, aka Tyson Kidd, but if you want to take it from this angle too, right? So WWE banned the Muscle Buster because unfortunately TJ Wilson got his neck broken. Thank God he didn't die. He very well could have. Because of what happened, that's why WWE banned the Muscle Buster, and that's why the Coquina Clutch became his finisher in WWE. And after all of that, you can even use that as a storyline. This is the most dangerous finisher in the game. Broke someone's neck, and you got this kid. I weigh more than this kid. Okay. And I say that because I'm in a wheelchair. I've had to learn how to walk 5 separate times. Yep. 6 if you want to get technical, but but I weigh more than this kid. I have more muscular definition than this motherfucking kid, and one of my hands is technically dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but just
it's a joke.
It is. It's hard to
There's-
watch, especially when you got Adam Page coming out for the save, and then Samoa Joe goes all the way, and then Hook is like, I got it. No. If you're this badass, you shouldn't need fucking help. Period. It's just ridiculous. So, go ahead.
Can I just ask, because if this is covered in the news later, then we'll save it. But I have to ask, are we gonna discuss Tony's interaction with Jinder?
No, I mean we can. We already talked about that last week, so I would just say that. So
because this dude is out of his fucking mind. I don't know what he's doing. I
don't either.
Me wrap my head around this.
This is where Hook comes in, because did you hear the promo that he cut on Samoa Joe?
Yes. What do I have to lose with the quesadilla? Are you fucking serious?
And he did it while eating a slice of pizza.
Oh, it was pizza? I thought it was quesadilla.
Yeah, no, he was eating
It's either way. That was so goddamn stupid. But okay, best overall match. It was Rollins versus Jinder, hands down. So
I'm sorry, folks. We had to go off on a rant. Okay, we're podcasters, and sometimes just by the nature of the game, number one, and two, when something is that reeking of bullshit.
Well, I just wanted to get this out now, so we don't have to talk about it later. That's where I'm at with it. Because by the end of the show, I'm like, okay, I want to be happy. I want to be excited. Let's just So that's where I'm at. Let's go to the comments. Josh Sanders had a lot to say about this. He goes, if you snort enough Coke, you might think it's Hook and Joe, but it's not. You're hooked on blow, TK. Thank you, Josh. And then Josh again says, just rewatching Hook versus Joe, and it didn't help that match at all. That match was unbelievable in not a good way. Samoa Joe, props to him for trying, but he was selling hard and having a jump hard to try and make Hook look like a worthy opponent. As a wrestling fan, I just couldn't buy into Hook slinging Joe around and knocking Joe down. I agree 110% with that.
I don't blame you at all, Josh, because the whole thing with wrestling, right, is the suspension of belief, right? The suspension of disbelief, suspension of belief. But there comes a point where it's like I'll use a boxing thing. You put Mike Tyson in the ring with Butterbean. Butterbean's gonna get knocked the fuck out. It's the same. It's the same thing here. It's just String Bean's gonna get knocked the fuck out by Samoa Joe. I agree.
That's where I'm at with it.
Why would Tony Khan even book this? What was he thinking?
It's Tony Khan, like Josh said, he's on coke. Harry Swartz said Seth versus Jinder. Brad Sanders says Seth versus Jinder for sure. Arthur Beltos says Seth versus Jinder was much better. And Keaton Parkey, I'm sorry if I messed that up, brother. Seth versus Jinder easily. Hook is trashed.
I agree.
Well, and here's another thing. I've seen a couple comments from people who are defending Samoa Joe versus Hook. Now, prime example for this, you don't explain at all why you picked Samoa Joe versus Hook. Garrett Leeper says Joe and Hook not really close for me. Why? How? Can you tell me that? And Steve Warwick says Samoa Joe versus Hook.
Oh, my God.
What are you fucking watching? Seriously.
No, did you see this? They were apparently comparing the two matches on Cage Match. They were comparing the ratings, and the ratings for Samoa Joe and Hook were higher than Seth and Jinder.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Because
Bill, another one.
Elio, I'm sorry, but you bring up.
Oh,
Elio,
get out of the Dean. I didn't do anything. I'm the Dean.
No.
I get mad here.
There you go.
No. I'm not mad at you, but I'm asking you a question because you're the technical expertise guy.
Okay.
Because we've used match ratings on our other show as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with cage match, I mean, who makes those ratings, right? It's the fans.
Right.
There's no, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no professional analytics that goes into that.
Nope.
None.
Or expertise or anything, right?
It's like WrestlingData.com, which is a pretty good site though, because they have a history calendar with all results from every pay-per-view.
But that being said, I don't think Wrestling Data is trying to be sourced as a reason for doing a match like this.
Right.
For Tony Khan to use cage match as a justification for something like this,
it's so terrible.
It's just ridiculous.
It's absurd. It's just help me.
Another one. Billy Judge says Joe versus Hook was much better.
Why? What? What are you watching?
I don't get it no more.
Sir, please report to the office. I'd like to know what you're watching.
I know, right? But this last comment, and I will agree 100%. Again, Josh Sanders defending these two matches, which I love a bunch. He says, if you love to watch Samoa Joe oversell lightweight Hook and hear Taz over-exaggerating about his son, had a hot spot where Joe slams Hook through the dollar store announce table, but Seth's match with Jinder means more and is watched more in wrestling. I almost thought Jinder was going to beat Seth. Never once believed Hook was beating Joe. And that should be the explanation right there, because that was perfectly said. That's what we're all trying to say. I don't know what these AEW fanboys see in this match being better than, or Joe and Hook's match being better than Jinder and Seth. I will never understand that. I don't have enough beer to drink in order to pass that through. So there you go.
You noticed that none of the hookers gave an explanation. And
that's what I'm saying. None.
I think they were just trolling.
They were. Anyway, yeah. But next, we'll go into some news. I'm going to go ahead and talk about a couple things. Seth Rollins, as we said during the match between Jinder, apparently has a torn MCL and a torn meniscus. So, like Ben said earlier, he will address this on Raw. This is really bad timing. I mean, you can't control injuries. That's just the thing. Bad timing with the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania coming around the corner, and your world champion. And like Ben said too, normally when they announce something on Raw, this means something serious, and I'm afraid to hear that because Seth has had problems with knee injuries before. I don't know if it's the same knee that he messed up when he tore his ACL, but I hope not. So that's where I'm at with it. Another one, I found out earlier that Okada is a free agent. He got an offer from New Japan, which apparently was really low compared to what he was thinking. So is he, guys, in your opinion, is he AEW bound or is he WWE bound? Because honestly, those are the only two companies I can see him signing with. So what do you guys think?
If he goes to AEW, I will cry live on the air on both of my podcasts.
Yeah.
Please, no, stop it. Don't do that to yourself. You are so much better than that.
I agree. Elio, what do you think?
I think he should go to WWE, and I was reading earlier that they were looking to get him like for WrestleMania 40. They were adding Okada for WrestleMania 40 after his NJPW departure.
Well,
so WrestleMania, night after WrestleMania, but don't go to AEW and don't go to TNA.
No, and I agree with Elio with that. With TNA, just don't go to even TNA. If you're hyping Dana Brooke and Nick Nemeth, and I don't fucking care about TNA. But anyway, that's all.
Ash by Elegance.
Ash by Elegance. Are you
What
shitting
the
me?
Fucking terrible.
You know what? At
That's
this point,
awful.
at this
But-
point, I'll take Topless Tony Storm.
Yeah, honestly, I probably would too after all that. But going back to Okada, to me, this guy's got to be WWE bound. Like we have said before, and I'll say it again, this Okada is an amazing talent. If you guys have never seen him, he's
Okada versus Shinsuke Nakamura, rematch from Wrestle Kingdom 9.
Yes, that'd be perfect. I'd love it. I'd love to see it. Now, he has worked in AEW before with Bryan Danielson. Again, that was a good match, but if you look at AEW's past, Okada should know not to go anywhere near that company. WWE, and I'm not being a WWE fanboy. I don't want to hear that bullshit. I never have been,
Right.
never will be. But if you want to be Okada main event wrestler that he should be, go to WWE. That's all I got to say for that. Elio, what do you got on some news?
So I got the Vince McMahon docu-series, Netflix docu-series. Apparently it's go ahead for the early part of 2024. And they were saying he can preview it, but he doesn't have any final say over it.
Good. That's good. Because I feel like he would somehow rig it to be like, oh, I wasn't this
Sure.
type of person.
I
wasn't this.
can see it now, Vince, but it's the truth. As you see it, Vince.
Exactly. That will be an interesting series, though. I am looking forward to that. Definitely, especially if he has no say in it. That's
apparently
what
I was reading. He already did some interviews for it. So,
oh really?
I guess we'll have to see
that's my concern, because how much is he going to be in it? Because if he's going to be in it in a heavy-handed fashion, then they're going to be painting him with through rose-colored glasses, folks. And to be honest with you, and I'm not saying that every possible thing about Vince McMahon is evil and evil incarnate, and no.
Read Death of the Territories.
But what I'm saying is, there are murderers and there are horrible people and whatever. We're not talking about that. But I mean, if you want to talk about a shady fucking human being, Vince McMahon is in the definition next to shady and grimy and just.
What I was just saying. Death of the Territories.
Exactly.
He's a shady person. He's been a shady person since '83.
So
I agree.
So if he's heavily involved in it, and I find out, I don't know if I'm even gonna watch it, because I don't know if it's worth it.
Nah, I'm sure it'll be worth it. I'm sure. Elio, what else you got?
And I got apparently they unveiled the new lineup for the Dark Side of the Ring season 5.
Ooh, good.
So apparently, this is what they have lined up. The episodes: Brutus Beefcake, Harley Race, Buff Bagwell, Kurt Angle, Chris Adams, Sandman, and Black Saturday, which I'm actually interested in watching. If you don't know what Black Saturday is, July 14th, 1984, fans were tuning into TBS expecting to see Georgia Championship Wrestling at 6:05 p.m. What they got instead was Vince McMahon, who had bought Georgia Championship Wrestling and took over the 6:05 time slot.
Oh.
And they referred to that as Black Saturday.
That would be a good one.
That's actually 40 years ago. It'll be 40 years in July that it happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I've seen all the Dark Side of the Rings. I love them. Yep. I can't wait to see the 5th season. And yeah, I'm excited for that. Ben, do you have anything else you want to add to the news?
I actually didn't have anything that I saw of notes. I'm looking right now, and outside of something that I can mention within the SmackDown coverage, there's really nothing that jumps out at me.
All right, that's no problem. Guys, I think we need to take a break. This all the matches and stuff has got me all like bleh. So let's go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll have This Week in Wrestling, the book, and much more. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero Kurt Angle. Listen to the Wrestling POV podcast. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Hi, I'm WWE superstar Charlotte Flair, also known as the Queen, and listen to Wrestling POV podcast, and always do it with Flair. Woo!
This is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and you are listening to the Wrestling POV podcast.
And we are back, and you can find Wrestling POV every Saturday on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Now it's time to get This Week in Wrestling. Clay.
All right, that sounds pretty different there, but we're going to go jump right in.
I thought it'd be different.
Yeah, why not? That's cool. That's cool. So, yeah, for me, this week was pretty good for the most part, match-wise. Storyline-wise was progressing with Raw being with Drew McIntyre and Cody's promo. Of course, we talked about Seth and Jinder having the main event. Progressing for the Royal Rumble. But if I had to point out a couple things from Raw, DIY for Dom and JD was really good. I enjoyed that match entirely. And Drew and Cody's promo, really good at the start of the show, I thought.
I've also got Rhea and Becky's promo.
Yes, that was pretty good too. Absolutely. But yeah, Raw was a solid show. Ben, what do you think about Raw?
So I thoroughly enjoyed it from an in-ring action perspective. So the one match that I would highlight outside of the main event was certainly not the match I just passed. I don't want to talk about women's tag team wrestling, but Ludwig Kaiser versus Xavier Woods, I thought was very good. I wish to God they wouldn't split up so many matches with the commercial breaks.
It kind of throws it off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just. Because we got just under 10 minutes shown with this match, and with the promo that was cut right before this match, I think it would have been so much more impactful had we seen the entire match. But I mean, because Gunther, his name is Walter. Goddammit. But, Gunther pretty much accepted Ludwig back into the fold, and he's proud of him, and he's a badass now because he took out Kofi in that attack, which was absolutely badass last week or 2 weeks ago.
You know what? I like this new Xavier Woods. This new direction they're going, and keep this Xavier Woods. It's enough with the pancakes and all the funny comedic stuff.
Thank you so much to be done with the pancakes. Oh my God.
Yeah. Just get away from the comedic stuff because this guy is good.
And to follow up on something that Tony mentioned last week with his gear, it seemed like he fixed that issue.
He heard the show. That's what he did. He's like, oh shit,
was
back with the WPOV guys.
Are you talking about Xavier or Kofi? It was Kofi. It was Kofi, not Xavier.
Yeah. Never mind. It was.
Yeah. But anywho, Ludwig Kaiser and Xavier Woods really did a nice job here with this match. And then if I had to mention a low point, can somebody please, I beg of you, help me understand why we are constantly, every single goddamn week, getting some combination of Ivar and Akira Tozawa.
It's getting.
Hey, Akira got the win. Don't even go there, Ben. Don't you dare go there. He got the win over a 300-pound Ivar. Now
that's
a
joke.
Match, not Hook and Joe.
Okay,
that's a match.
No, Hook and Samoa Joe is a joke.
That was. Ivar losing to Tozawa was a fucking good match. I loved it.
You're a nerd, and that cackle is delightful. But still, the match is just terrible.
Damn, Ben, I'm disappointed. I really am. That was a good match.
Ben's for the office.
I'm disappointed in your taste in wrestling. What are you doing?
Damn, that's mean. But anyway, that was Raw. We'll go into NXT real quick. The only thing
have to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna mention.
Take it, Clay.
I'm gonna mention one thing and one thing only that was good was the Battle Royal of the women's match going into a fatal 4-way. Roxanne Perez getting the win. This was very solid, and I liked how NXT did this. The rest of this garbage was oh my god.
Okay, this is go on. Oh, I'm gonna say mine.
The Dusty Rhodes Classic is cool and all, and these matches are really good to the most part. But that's really the only thing that I had for NXT was that low points. It just the rest of it. It's hard to watch. Don't get me wrong, I love wrestling, but NXT is getting harder to watch. But I just wanted to point out a couple high points just to go for NXT. What'd you guys have?
Right here. Okay, this is what we were talking about last week. Always bring your gear. Always be ready. Because what was Trey Berhill wearing?
Oh my god! This kid.
When I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, where's your gear?
I don't even know. I don't even get it. And I'm not throwing at me just because I'm not an Eddie Thorpe fan doesn't mean I'm a Trey Bear, whatever his Bear Hill fan. I don't care. These two guys, I'm sorry, I don't see it in them. I really don't.
And again, Obafemi closing the open challenge for the North American year. It's too early for you.
Oh my god.
He hasn't done anything.
I can't take it. He hasn't done jack shit. I've done more in professional wrestling than he has. Good God.
But, yeah. All right.
That's all
do we have any more I would say, do we have any more to add? In NXT.
No, okay. Ben's got a headache. Let's go. Move on.
There you go. All right. Now we're going to another AEW Dynamite. Guys, I'll be honest with you.
Oh my God.
Now, I'm going to say one good thing about AEW. They do know how to do a tribute. And that tribute to Jay Briscoe, oh my God. Had me in tears, guys. I'm not joking at all.
That had me on the verge of him for sure.
I didn't realize that it was a year to that day that he passed away. And to do that video tribute, plus with bringing the whole Briscoe family and seeing his two nieces, like being able to walk, it's like, how could
that was his daughter,
bro? Oh, was it his daughter? Okay, I'm thinking Mark Briscoe's nieces, Jay's kids. I'm thinking, how can you not get very happy, upset?
I was getting teary-eyed.
Oh man,
that doesn't happen to me. I'm pretty stoic.
No. But
yeah.
And I just had to say that. And of course, we talked about the main event. I'm not going to go into that no more because I just calmed down from that. But just the rest of the show, I'm sorry. The matches were okay. I'm not going to say the matches were terrible because I put in my notes, solid matches overall, but it just, I don't know. Dynamite is the same way with NXT to me. It's kind of getting to the point where it's like, I mean, of course, I'm going to watch it because I'm a big wrestling fan, and I'm going to because I want to tune in every week. But something's got to change. It really does.
I said this on the last show that Ben and I did. The only the only time AEW's been good recently is the Continental Classic.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and I have one bone to pick outside of Hook versus Joe because I'm with you, Clay. I'm having an aneurysm. Okay. I'm having a real health crisis over here thinking about that. But Bullet Club Gold and the Ring of Honor 6-man
Here we go.
Okay, now, folks,
don't defend it on Dynamite. Defend it on ROH.
Because we already have an AEW 6-man title that you're not doing anything with, and then you're doing it with Ring of Honor on AEW television.
Yep.
When the last time you had Ring of Honor heavily featured on AEW television, everybody was telling you to get ROH to fuck off AEW TV. I'm still telling you that whenever this comes on because it just doesn't belong there.
No.
This is challenging because on one hand, in all seriousness, I want to get behind Bullet Club Gold. Because I like Jay White a lot. Elio, because we're doing more of the New Japan stuff over on our show, I've kind of delved more into Jay White's history over there. And, if you guys are unfamiliar with Jay White's history in New Japan, this guy is an absolute badass. All right, I'm not just talking about his history with the Bullet Club. If you just watch his matches, this dude is a badass. All right, he's not just the comedic whatever that we're getting here, and it's just I'm struggling with this because this version of Jay White is not. It's not doing justice to his capabilities, number one. And number two, so I really want to get behind him because I know what he's capable of, but I'm struggling. And number two, why are we saddling him with the guns?
That's what I think. I just don't understand where even that's what we've said before. AEW's bookings. I don't understand why, just Jay White in general or Okada, or even guys like Bryan Danielson.
That name, the Bang Bang Gang. What?
That's so stupid.
It sounds like a bad porno. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
It really does.
I don't get it anymore, guys. I really don't.
Am I wrong?
No. Elio, you got any more?
I got nothing more on this show. This show's just the matches went bad, but the best I can give you is that Jay Briscoe tribute. That's it. That was the high point of the show for me.
Absolutely. We'll just go ahead and go to SmackDown. Guys, I think I got to give a hand of applause to whoever did this. Pete Dunne, fucking back.
All right. I was singing I was telling Clay on Messenger, I'm like, Ben is going to be super happy.
Yes, I think everybody as a wrestling fan.
As a matter of fact, and you and Elio, I hate Twitter, but I was so happy I had jittery fingers and I expressed my happiness on Twitter.
There you go.
The fact that we are no longer dealing with a 1940s paperboy bitch, I am so ecstatic. Okay?
Yes.
The fact that we have the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne back is fantastic. Okay.
That made my entire week. Just seeing Pete Dunne back on there, the Bruiserweight himself, just like you said, Ben. I was so happy not to hear the name Butch again, and I hope no other wrestler has the thought of naming himself Butch. Please don't.
Or anything similar, because I've heard this refrain a lot, but it's true. So I'm emphasizing this because it's not me coming up with this, but it's very accurate. Okay, but can you imagine? Okay, up next, WrestleMania main event, we have Cody Rhodes versus Butch.
I never thought that. I have as much thought as Hook being Samoa Joe. That's pretty close.
It's never going to happen. Butch is never going to be in the main event or even on the WrestleMania card. It's just not going to happen.
Nope, and, but Pete Dunne could. That's
absolutely.
Yes. LWO versus Legado del Fantasma. I loved this. Here's my thing, though. Loved the match going into it, but this needed more time. This should have been on a pay-per-view.
Is that their name now? Are they going with the Legado?
They announced it as Santos and Humberto and Angel Garza. They came out to Legado del Fantasma and the song and everything. So I'm guessing that's So that's where I'm going at with it. This should have been on a pay-per-view, though, not done on SmackDown. This story could be doing really good, but it needs to be on a pay-per-view. That's where I'm at with it.
And I got to say, I hated the ending, though.
Yeah, I did, too. It's just, tonight's SmackDown was still kind of weird to me. It was good setup between the match at the Royal Rumble, but at the same time, you had LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Could have been longer, but instead you had Solo attack him, which is like, what is going on here? And then you had Randy Orton and Roman Reigns
didn't really fix anything.
And no, he didn't.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, because that was my next question.
Mm-hmm.
So Roman Reigns shows up on SmackDown, and he comes up. He comes through the metal detector looking thingy. It'd be like, did you fix it? No. Okay, I guess I have to. That's why I'm here.
What did he fix?
Well, what he was supposed to fix was the fact that he is in a fatal four-way at the Royal Rumble, courtesy of Nick Aldis.
Yes,
that's what he was supposed to fix. But no, he doesn't do that. Not at all. Instead, he signs the contract to put himself in the match. So
that doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
I am asking. It's Elio, and Clay. I'm not sure if you listen to our show, the PNC Progression Wrestling Podcast, but
I listen to everything, but I hear it all. I hear all of it.
Well, if you do, you understand that the two of the major concepts that I look at when I watch wrestling is logic and continuity. Those are two things that are massively important to me. And in terms of logic, when Roman Reigns is on the show, because it's such a rarity now, it's supposed to be a huge deal. There's got to be like a very big reason.
Mm-hmm.
And when the stated reason is bullshit, because nothing gets accomplished.
Nope.
To that end, and he himself signs the contract to get himself into the match that he expressly said he's trying to avoid. Am I missing something? Because I feel like my IQ has decreased.
A little bit. I would have to say, because it doesn't make sense either. Just the whole thing, and even around I understand the Royal Rumble's next week. You got time to make it better, blah blah blah. But this is leading into it. Like, what do you want us to be excited for? Oh, Roman came back just to sign the contract, like he was supposed to take care of business, but didn't. It's like,
oh, I'm so excited! Roman can put pen to paper. Guess what? So can I. I'm not an invalid.
Right?
Give me something else. Okay, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not going to get excited because Roman Reigns comes out and takes 10 minutes to get to the goddamn ring.
True that. Elio, you got any more to add?
No, like he was saying, this is just really weird SmackDown. The whole Roman Reigns story surrounding tonight's episode made no sense. He didn't fix anything. The only thing I liked was when was the main event. Orton and Solo, and Orton getting the RK1 Roman.
Yes,
Then,
that was awesome.
I think that I was also reading that apparently they're looking at turning Austin Theory face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah,
we'll see. I think he could do it. I really do, but it'd be interesting to see him as a babyface.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm just kind of like, you know, because when Austin Theory debuted, I'm like, okay, I can really see something in this kid. And then it's like, now granted, once Vince, you know, got out of the picture, and now he got back in, and now he's back out. You know, his push is kind of start and stopped, and now it's really stopped.
Yeah.
You know, and on
who's your daddy?
Which that chant really hurt him.
I mean, did you notice it tonight? Though, did you notice it tonight that like when he was trying to avoid the match with Carmelo next week, he's like, "I'm busy," but then Grace Waller accepted on his behalf. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll have to see with that. So that was your review for SmackDown, guys. We're gonna go this week in wrestling. I guess that was this week in wrestling of everything. Overalls, what was your favorite of the week? So Elio, go ahead.
I'd have to go with Monday Night Raw.
All right, Ben, who's your overall?
I'd have to go with Monday Night Raw.
I agree 100% with you guys. Monday Night Raw was the best overall show for me. Let's go ahead and jump into the book. Basically, what we do is put the most ridiculous things that happen in this week of wrestling, and we just do it for a good laugh because, you know, we need it. We really do.
Especially after this week, folks. You know, I really don't mean to be dramatic and loud, and you know, I really turned the volume up, and I'm sorry if I hurt my co-host's ears, but sometimes the lack of logic and just the bullshit just makes my head explode.
There you go. All right, you guys ready?
Indeed.
All right. No Trick Willie Shot.
Stays.
AEW Time Management.
Stays.
AEW's Absurd Commentary.
That stays.
I
mean, just like a Taz this week.
Exactly. Don Callis' Harry Potter scar. Stays. That's getting worse, honestly.
It keeps growing week by week.
It does. Or paints it, but you know, fuck him. Booker T's non-game intro.
Stays.
He did it. Stand it. I can't.
Yeah, he did it. This week it wasn't the theme. This week it was him.
No, it was him. Absolutely. Yeah. Gosh. And last but certainly not least, fuck's wrong with Tony Khan's eyes? Stays.
I think Josh joins us with that question.
I think he does too. But that's all that we have for WPOV, guys. It was a good show. This was awesome. And we're looking forward to the Royal Rumble next week. Like I said, Tony should be on. We will have an aftermath for the Royal Rumble. We're all super excited about it. So be coming back to us and a lot more. This week, though, we will not have a 5-second shuffle, unfortunately. So Elio retains another week. I mean, he's going on a roll. So let's see what happens next week.
I'm going on tour for the week.
Don't mess up your phone with tears, okay? We don't need short circuit because you're crying.
Oh, I know. It's all good. But with that being said, I am the $50 man, Clay Cummings, along with the Dean,
Elio Canella,
and the original
Ben Pierce.
All right, love, peace, and wrestling. We'll see everybody next week. Peace out.